Aaron Rodgers post-game interviews, must-see TV, John.
Got a little weird.
He made news while there was another playoff game going on.
It
was good. Subscribe to this channel and give this video a like.
Yep. Also, the podcast below in the description. Get on that and get on it now.
Okay, so Aaron Rodgers after the game kind of made it seem like he might not be on the Packers next year. Or he at least has considered the possibility that he's not on the Packers this year. And I don't think that didn't come from like, hey, Aaron, are you going to be on the team next year? That came from Aaron volunteering it. And I'll also say this. During the broadcast, Aikman and Buck on TV kind of said the same thing. Like that Rodgers kind of said what he said post-game to them. You could tell. I didn't think much of it when they said it, but after watching the post-game in retrospect, it was pretty weird post-game for Rodgers.
Yeah, I was a little taken back. You know, all he's preached all year long was how happy he was. But I think when you look at the individual, and I think you and I would fall into this spectrum, if you have some spiteful tendencies that you don't just forget because things are going well. I actually think spiteful people deep down kind of get more angry when things start going well. And in a weird way, I wonder if Aaron Rodgers was, despite winning the MVP and telling everyone and always Pat McAfee how fucking happy he was and how great his life is and just how happy he is, was ever just like, ever, one time, forgot these motherfuckers drafted a quarterback. Every day when LaFleur and Gutekunst see me and hug me and we see each other grabbing chicken sandwiches at lunch and on the practice field, and Gutekunst is always giving me fist pounds, deep down, how could you ever forget they thought I was trending the wrong way and they drafted my replacement? Especially when he'd lived through it. And then it goes so well, he would look like he's no dummy. He knows there is narratives about the way he is, about just being kind of an asshole. He couldn't be like that when things were going that well and they were winning and he was playing so good and he played the part. I did feel like after the game was like, you know, this wasn't all a sham, but I haven't forgotten everything. I do think he's just being realistic. They have some cap issues. They have guys that are going to be free agents. The team just, in the NFL, the teams are never the same. But I think he looks back and goes, we've had this like core of guys really the last 2 years and we didn't get it done. We've been stopped in this game. It's probably not like we're going to be better next year. We're going to lose some of these guys. Aaron Jones, one of their best players, is a free agent, right? I mean, A.J. Dillon's on the team. And I understand, like, you're not going to overpay a running back. You draft the running back and A.J. Dillon will be his replacement. But Aaron Jones is a better player than A.J. Dillon. I just wonder if Aaron thinks, you know, for as great as we were, imagine if you guys had just pulled the trigger on what everyone wanted you to do, including myself.
Right. Yeah, because especially
I thought his comments were specifically, you know, indirectly, because he didn't name them, but like at Gutekunst and LaFleur. Like, well, I haven't forgotten, guys.
Yeah, and it makes sense that if that's what it is, it makes sense that would come up in that moment after the game. After he had a third down with nobody to throw to, after he had a 2-point conversion dropped. It makes sense that it would come up right then when the margins are thin and he's standing on the other sideline watching Brady throw, watching Brady's sixth option be Gronkowski as Leonard Fournette, who they traded for, runs up the field. Mike Evans, AB they added. Couldn't play, but they added AB because that's what Tom wanted. Like on the other sideline, the team did whatever Tom wanted. You want AB? Got him. You want Gronk? Got him. Right? You want Leonard Fournette?
Lenny?
Got him.
Get him. Yeah.
What do you need? What else you need? I mean, I know we already have Godwin and Mike Evans, but you like was Scotty Dimes? Was he on the team before?
Yeah, I think he was on the team.
So they had him ahead of time.
Yeah. Don't worry, we got a little white guy.
But I mean, it's like that's part of the deal for Rodgers. He's on the other sideline watching the guy whose team catered to him beat him.
Don't you think he also, I mean, Mahomes is kind of compared to them, and he just looks at Kansas City, how they treat Patrick. Does it feel like they leave any stone unturned for, like, oh, Le'Veon Bell, who's not even good? Andy's like, we'll take him.
How about the Saints? You think the Saints don't do everything for Drew?
It does feel historically his franchise operates a little bit small markety. I mean, they are, but in the NFL, I think he's going, what are we doing? But to me, back to the Jordan Love thing, it represented not just like make it a good draft pick. It represented what they thought of him, right? And he had lived through that.
Right.
I just don't think you forget that.
Yeah.
And then you have the moment where I think there's a pretty good chance that when the fourth down happened, he wanted to go for it. He claimed it wasn't his decision. And if he goes, let's go for it.
Decision.
Yeah. And they go kick the field goal. He's probably not happy with the guy. But there also is like, Aaron's not a huge accountability guy. And in fairness, he didn't lose this game. I thought he was just really good. I mean, he was 33 of 48 for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. And his pick, you could argue, was, PI, whatever. It wasn't a great throw, but whatever. I can live with one pick when the other guy threw 3. Rodgers played winning football. He was running for his life a lot of the time, right? His tackles were getting smoked by the defense. And he's just going like, what more can I do here? Well, our defense isn't quite good enough. Our offense has one incredible player and then just dudes, right?
Yeah. There's, we don't know how the Super Bowl is going to play out. But I do think one of the ways I'll remember this NFL season, one of the things I'll remember about the season is that I think the Packers should have won the Super Bowl this year. Now, then I watch the Chiefs flip the switch in the AFC Championship game, and we'll see how they look in the Super Bowl. Maybe I won't feel that way in 2 weeks.
But I think the Chiefs' best beats the Packers' best.
You might be right.
Probably close, though. But, I mean, if that means Rodgers is on point, it's hard to beat him.
But in the moment that Rodgers is doing that press conference, he's thinking, I think we were supposed to win the Super Bowl this year. Look at the year I just had. I was going to have 2 rings. And you guys, here's the other thing. And
you think I don't know if Rodgers ever gets like he just falls
so
like it's hard. I know.
He's won
for 4 in that game,
which is crazy.
I know.
Avid listener and longtime friend of mine, Ryan Radke, who calls a bunch of huge games on Westwood One radio. He might have been calling one of these games today. Texted me, he's like, one of the mistakes the Packers made was if LaFleur had been their coach 5 years ago or some version of LaFleur 5 years ago, they have all this other time not only to build up to that moment at the end of the game, but how many years did the Packers waste of Rodgers with McCarthy? And I do think the organization between how they drafted at the end of his career, how long McCarthy was the coach.
I do think waste would be strong. They have been really successful.
Waste is not the word, and waste wasn't the word he used.
I know what you're saying, but
did they do everything they could for him? Clearly, he doesn't think
potential.
So. Yeah, and I don't think they did either. And part of this might be that, like you were saying, this is an organization that they view the whole over the one in an era where the one gets whatever the one needs.
But wouldn't you say even Belichick? Like, hey guys, Belichick thinks the whole over the one 50 times more than you guys. And he has constantly over the years, like, taken like Andy, Sean Payton level flyers on guys, right? Did it last year with Antonio Brown. Does it all the times with like a Revis, just a player here and there. Like he's aggressively trying to. Who did I see? Oh, I saw that this year the Diggs trade. There was like a look back on the way the Bills trade played out. You know who it came down between? The Bills and the Patriots. Like it just Belichick. It feels. The Packers there's an aggressiveness that is not in their ethos, that is not really in their core. And I wonder if Rodgers goes, I'm seeing all my contemporaries where you could argue I'm the best, if at least the most talented, or definitely they're equals, and I'm not dealt the same hand always. I have to overcome. I have to truly carry. And my pushback would be, Aaron, you'd become a superstar in the NFL no matter what if you're as good as him. I do think the Green Bay Packers are a massive brand and really good for Aaron Rodgers too, just the business standpoint. But from a playing standpoint, you just wonder, I bet if you really dove it down, like how much he's truly carried the franchise and how because when Brett Favre got there, they were getting Reggie White. The rest of their team was really balanced. Even when Aaron first got there under Ted Thompson, they were really balanced and really good on defense. It does feel now they're just so dependent on Aaron Rodgers. Like even watching the Chiefs, it's like, they can just, Tyreek Hill can carry them for a while, or Kelsey can carry them if Mahomes is off. Honey Badger will pick it off, and Chris Jones will have a fumble, and just they have this other guy that came limping off, like this young DB they love, and it's like these have more guys that can carry. When I'm watching the Packers, I go, it's just all on 12 shoulders.
The Smith brothers, they did get them.
No, well, I mean, but yeah, Yeah, that's fair.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I don't think it changes what you just said. All right, so do we think he'll be another team? Obviously, people want to put him on the Niners. $37 million cap hit next year, 37.5, which will be 20% of the cap probably. That we don't know what the number's going to be, but even if the cap was 190, which it may not be, but whatever.
I saw that. I saw someone projected probably 188 to 190.
Okay,
They
so
thought
it'll be 20% then.
not the 175.
His dead cap's 31, so they only save $5 million there. I guess if they trade him, I think it's actually not a bad deal for the receiving team because they restructured his contract and pushed a bunch of money back to 2022 and 2023.
Yeah.
He actually wouldn't be a bad player to acquire because I don't think you'd be paying $37 million. His cash is only $23 million next year.
And because he's the MVP of the league.
And because the MVP. So where should we start? Let's start with the Niners just because, we talk a lot of the Niners.
Let's just start with is he a tradable player? To me, when Ted Thompson made his historic move, Brett's done here, we're going with Rodgers. It was crazy, but they knew they had 3 years of evidence that they had been like, this guy can really play. We've seen him in practice. I feel comfortable with him. To me, Jordan Love has shown nothing. He couldn't beat out Tim Boyle. And Rodgers just won the fucking MVP of the league. So from a unless he demands a trade, I don't see how, even if someone was willing to give you like 2 1s and 2 2s for like a 37-year-old, how you could stake your career on you traded Aaron Rodgers in like his MVP, level play, and then he goes to somewhere and wins MVPs or keeps playing like this and gets over the hump. I think it could cripple Gutekunst and LaFleur. Like, you don't shake that. Like Jed was never going to shake Tom Sula and Harbaugh. And he got lucky with Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah. Especially when you're close, right? It's not like the Packers. The Packers are close. Like, get him more players, and you could be here again next year.
Yeah, it makes no sense if you're the Packers to actively trade him or actively shop him, unless he forces your hand.
Yeah, the only way it makes sense to me is if it turns out that Jordan Love is actually a star, and you've just been hiding him.
But if that was true, he'd be the backup quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's how it would make sense to me.
And there's no way they could even know that, right? No. Based off 1 year.
Here's the other part of this from a Niner standpoint. This is and you tweeted this. If they were to trade him, they would not send him to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I am all for, there are situations where you keep, like I saw this a couple times with we can get to
I don't think he's an NFC tradable player.
So I saw this with Stafford. A couple people said, like, you can't trade him in the NFC. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Who cares where the Lions trade him? But that does apply to the Packers.
But for Stafford, we'll get in it. Like, I don't think the Bears are an option for Stafford. They're not going to trade him to the Bears. I don't think that's possible. With Aaron Rodgers, well, obviously he wouldn't get traded to the Bears. I don't think he's a tradable player in the NFC. I think the last team they would trade him to, the very last team, would be the San Francisco 49ers.
He might not want to play for Kyle.
But I just think under no circumstances would that even be an option for him.
All right, do the hypothetical you texted me. I like this one.
If the Jacksonville Jaguars called the Packers tomorrow and Urban just said, hey, Goots, maybe wait until Tuesday. Let this one simmer tomorrow.
No, you got him now while he's emotional.
Yeah, Goots, listen, man. I've lost in the big games too, man. I feel your pain. I just wanted to throw something by you. I'm just be in and out of the office for the next week. You can call me back. No rush. I just simmer on this. I don't know if you saw we got the number 1 overall pick, and Trent's over there. I don't even know what him and Tom Gamble are doing, but I want to throw this out there. I'll give you the number 1 overall pick for Aaron Rodgers. Straight up, done deal. Black and white. That's it. Number 1, straight up for Aaron Rodgers. Just think about it. Call me back. And Goots goes, yeah, I'm going to go eat some lunch. I'll call you.
I think Gutekunst says yes.
I think that's the one trade he could do that would be like, okay, I think under no circumstances, Gutekunst and LaFleur would never trade Aaron Rodgers to Kyle Shanahan. No fucking chance. That would be career suicide, or the risk of career suicide. I don't think you could do that. Even if they were giving you 2 1s and a 2
put him in a Jags uniform, he would not like that.
The problem is I don't think Aaron Rodgers refused to play. Could you
I'm not sure.
That's the thing with Aaron Rodgers.
I think if we did play the Who Said No game, I think the Jags might not do that. Although Urban's only going to be coaching for like 5 years, he might just. This guy can be my quarterback.
You don't think Urban Meyer could think he could win like the Super Bowl next year?
Maybe.
To me, that would be something like the Packers would have to, if they were having their hand forced. I just don't. Rodgers like, I have to see about the uncertainty about what, bro? You're in a contract for the next
let's
3
not
years.
forget he does. This is not the first time he's just creates some.
I thought he was a little drama filled, a little calculated, a little just like wants to be a star. I don't know. It was a little bizarre.
Yeah.
But I also get back to maybe he just doesn't like those guys.
Again, I also think it's you're right. He is very thoughtful. Nothing he says is by accident. So I don't want to put too much. Like it was post game after he just lost to Tom Brady, who he should have beat, and he knew he should have beat him. He should have beat him.
Can I just play the first part because he kind of laughs about it.
The first part he laughs, yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be an end to it at some point, whether we make it past this one or not. But just the uncertainty is tough, and the finality of it all.
I skipped it.
A lot of guys' futures that are, uncertain. Myself included.
Yeah.
But why would he say that, guy? Myself included? What do you mean?
To be, stay in the middle of it all.
Yeah, these guys like being in the mix.
And it's kind of like you said. He's just pissed at those guys. Like, hey, screw you. You guys want something? Here, enjoy this for the next week. I'm about. And
I will defend him on this one. They fucked you last offseason.
Yeah.
So why can't you mess with them?
Mess with their offseason. Yeah. You guys thought you were going on vacation? Here you go. Jump out of the elevator after you drop a bomb in it.